the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Ebusiafo Yamamoa Dikan Ate say former First Lady, wife of Jerry John Rawlings, President Jerry John Rawlings the late, and so I pass it on. Now, Menoka say Dr.Zanetor Rawlings, there omu osu gidi uncontrollably. Now, could draw Rage Hospital, a semno echo see ya, Ebusiafo. Enye easy kwa. Now, Menoka say when you say former First Lady Nana Ajimai Kunadu Mills. Ajimai Rawlings, wadi finchia mako adosunsi 76 and yehwe oba oni ni kunu SOCD in coup eberuli Ghana na ye transition into democratic governance. Ni kunu ebeye president for 8 years. Na enu achi President Kufuor ni aba no mo ye peaceful transition. Emma President Kufuor na ekyerɛw the kind of beacon of because a beacon of democracy there. Na we omo free mu enye yie. Na yenkɔ videos of Zanetor Rawlings our Rich Hospital hɔ na yentie the history and nneɛma a ɔde n'abrabɔ ɛbɛyɛ ɛwɔ Ghana.
A very, very quick intervention in terms of information to the government because news already has started circulating on social media. And so they went there, they did not make any comments on it except to, with the pictures that we are seeing on screen now, going to give some information or notification to the president on it. Later, we are told that the president himself likely
of November 1948. So if you would want to calculate her age will be about 71 years. So she was born on 17th November 1948, a Ghanaian politician. She's currently a widow because I announced to you that she 76 years. So the age is 76 years. From 1948 to 2025 is 76 years. And she was a Ghanaian politician, of course, a widow to former President Jerry John Rawlings. She was also the First Lady of Ghana from June 1979 to the 24th of September 1979. That was the around the military periods and so on and so forth till we began the Fourth Republic. And from the 31st of December 1981 to the 7th of January 2001. In 2016, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings became the first woman in the country here, Ghana, to run for president. You remember that she was a member of the National Democratic Congress. Her husband, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, is the founder of the current ruling government, the National Democratic Congress, and she was a wife. That's how come she was the very first lady to the beginning of the Fourth Republic. And I mean, all of us, everybody in the country, most of the people, especially those who follow politics, have had to either learn from her or have an encounter, not directly, maybe an indirect encounter on TV, on radio, on observation, or however, with her. She's trained a lot of people, the 31st December women, and so on and so forth. She's somebody that has a record in the political history of Ghana. So she became the very first woman to run for president in Ghana. In 2018, she launched her book titled "It Takes a Woman," and she's been in the Ghanaian political space. Everybody has followed her. Let me tell you a bit about her early life and education. So Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings was actually born in Cape Coast in the central region of Ghana, November 17, 1948. If you have just tuned in and you've seen the former First Lady's picture on Metro TV, it is reported that very unfortunately, the breaking news we are bringing to you is that very unfortunately, the First Lady, former First Lady Nana Konadu Rawlings has passed. The production team, including our MD himself, is really on the ground now, making sure that what we are giving you is properly confirmed. But that's the breaking news as we bring you this afternoon. Very, very unfortunate. And this year has seen a lot. This year has seen a lot for the people that we get around, for the people that we see, and for the people that we interact with. This year has really seen a lot. Let me tell you a bit about the early life of Nana Konadu Rawlings. Nana Konadu Rawlings, as I said, was born in the Central Region, Cape Coast, 1948, to J.O.T. Agyemang and his wife. She attended Ghana International School, and later she moved to Achimota School. Lots of us know her and her affiliation and association with the Achimota School, where she met her future husband at the time, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. That's at the time when she had moved to Motown, Achimota School. She went on to study art and textiles at the University of Science and Technology. We call it the KNUST. She was a student leader of her Hall of Residence, Africa Hall. So for all of you who have gone to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, and especially the women who have been in the Africa Hall, you've had the former First Lady being through the Africa Hall herself. In 1975, she earned an interior design diploma from the London College of Art. So she further pursued the education over the next couple of years, acquiring a diploma in advanced personnel management from Ghana's Management, Development and Productivity Institute. A lot of us know it as MDPI. This was in 1979, and a certificate in development from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. A lot of us also know it as GIMPA in 1991. She later went to Johns Hopkins and received a certificate for Fellows Program in Philanthropy and Non-Profit Organization. Let's see, as a First Lady, what she had been known for when she became the First Lady. So, Agyemang Rawlings, Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings, her husband affectionately called her Nana. For those of you who experienced His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, even when he had ended his tenure as president, he had still been involved very much in the politics of the country. And so the NDC, even the NPP, all the political parties that are currently in existence and had been in existence, we can confidently say that most of these people or most of these political institutions have had some inspiration to draw from Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings and her husband, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. And of course, I'm sure political historians can actually attribute the current democracy that we are all enjoying here in the country as of today, especially in this Fourth Republic. We can attribute, if not entirely, a greater portion of it to this couple who had transitioned from the PNDC to the NDC and allowed elections to go on from 1992. That's where and how we have the 1992 Constitution, which came into effect and, of course, allowed governance. And then he had been president, and she also had been the First Lady until 2000, the year 2000, when John Agyekum Kufuor won the elections in December 6th, and on January 7th, 2001, John Agyekum Kufuor took over the reins. I remember when I was young and I was watching TV, and His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings and Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings, as we're seeing her now, in her beautiful kente, clad in kente at the time, was taking John Agyekum Kufuor around at the time, the castle. That was the seat of government. And it was a beautiful sight to behold. It acclaimed, or it won the country Ghana the world acclaim of peace, the peaceful transition. That's what the first time we had a very peaceful transition of one democratic government, a political party which has been elected democratically into governance, into another political party which was also elected into governance, a handover, a very peaceful handover that we had seen happened in the year 2001. And it was done by His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, ably supported by Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. And we all enjoyed that and have been enjoying that. I think that became the pillar and the reference points for every political party who now wins power to stay on and give us a smooth transition when you lose. That happened in the year 2008 when the NPP had lost power. They had to, based on the smooth transition they had received from His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings and, of course, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, also hand over power to Professor J.E.A. Mills in the year 2009, the 7th of January, after the elections, December 6th. So in 2008, we had two elections. First was the general elections and the parliamentary elections, which happened on the 7th of December 2008. And then we had to go on a runoff. We remember the Tyne incident when all the stories around Tyne to be the decision maker of who had actually won the elections. But remember, at the time, the NDC already had the majority in parliament, so their campaign was excellent and was easy to garner the votes of the masses for the presidential candidate, who was Professor J.E.A. Mills at the time, and he was declared after the runoff on the 27th, I think 27th or 28th of December. He won the elections, and on the 7th of January, he took over the reins of power for the country. That again went on, and His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama, when we had the unfortunate demise of Professor J.E.A. Mills, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took over for 3 months, and then we went into an election, he won, and then in 2016, there was another smooth transition to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Currently, we have had one more smooth transition to His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama, once again. And all of this, as we talk about, can be referenced to His Excellency, the President, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, and the First Lady, as we see, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. I'm sure that our reporters would quickly be trooping into the house of the former First Lady. If we get there and we hear any news or we see anything, we are here. We'll be bringing you up to speed on that. The unfortunate news which has happened currently, as we report to you, is that the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, has passed on. And